Welcome students. In the subject is environmental impact assessment and management. We are seeing the second unit and we are seeing what is EIA methodology, right? So we have seen what are the EIA methodology is the subject, that is the title of the second unit. We saw what is introduction, okay, and what is the criteria for the selection of EIA methodology we saw. In this class we will see what is the EIA methods and we will see ad hoc methods in detail. So what is EIA methodology? Actually it is so many methodologies, so many methods is there. And we have to go in for it, particularly for one project, each areas, the environment may be affected or impacted in a different way. In order to find out, in order to know that one, we are adopting a different methodologies. Okay. So EIA analyst or the person charged with the preparation will have a vast quantity of either a known data or wanted data, or it is not of significance. Every data will be there. So if every data will be arranged or given in a very unorganized manner. So in order to make it organized, in order to make it as a very good thing, we are going in for this methodologies. So there are different methods that is there, but each method is have own advantage, disadvantage. Okay. So before going in that, we saw what are the criteria that is there for the EIA. So the criteria that is methodologies for how to select means, with systematic in approach, you should be able to organize a large mass of heterogeneous data, able to quantify the impacts, what type of impacts and what is the type of impact will be most significant for this project, able to summarize the data, able to aggregate the data into sets, at least formation before the aggregations, have a good predictive, that is future what will happen, what will be the accidents that may happen, unwanted, that is unwanted, unrealistic or unexpected things what is happening, what are the salient features and display, that is the last one, it is the main thing, what is the methodology, what are the raw data or what are the data that we have considered, from which what are the conclusions that we have taken, what are the data that we have taken and what are the things that we are giving, that we have to go, right? So the criteria for the selection of EIA methodology, number one, it is general. Number two, it is impact identification. Third, impact measurement. Fourth, impact interpretation and evaluation. And impact communication. Okay, right? These are the things that we have already saw. Now we are going for the little bit of again, right? So in the first, that is the general things, cost, time, effectiveness criteria. Like what is the criteria means the expertise requirement is the main criteria. Simple enough to allow the available manpower with limited knowledge to gap and apply the method without difficulty. The method should not be made so much of complex, right? So what is there? You are taking this method, you are applying these things, simple things, and you are going to get this. Like that, it should be in a simple format, simple methodology should be adopted. Everything cannot be gone in for a complex things. What are the data? What are the primary data that is required for this project alone? What are the things that is going to be affected? That data has to be used only. And also mostly the readily available data has to be taken into, for the study. No new data has to be added. Okay, that is another important thing. The criteria, the another important thing we have to consider. We don't go in for the digging in of again and again and again. We will have the same data again. Time requirement. So this is very limited time and also the constraint, the time constraint should be given. Otherwise it can take years and years to get that methodology done. Okay, for starting of a project, this much of time should be there in order to adopt the methodology. Okay. The next one, it is a flexibility. Flexible enough to allow for modification or changes during the course of study, especially if more detailed study is required. Okay, so what are the modifications I have to do in the things? If any modification is needed, I can go for a modification or not. Everything I have to go in the flexibility. The methodology which I am adopting should not be strict, should not be mandatory. All things are mandatory like that, it should not be. There should be some flexibility. Personal level of effort can be performed with limited manpower and budget. Overall, what is there itself, what is the main thing is that the methodology has to use the limited raw materials, limited manpower at a limited budget at a very durable time. Okay, that we saw in the last class. And the next one, it is the impact identification. Actually, what are the all possible options and alternatives? What are the all possible options and alternatives? You should give that methodology what I am selecting should be giving the sufficient information about the impact. Okay. So, here and there if it gives an impact, I can't take a very good decision. So, what is that for the decision of this project? These are the impacts that is necessary. That methodology has to taken into control, and like that method has to be adopted. The indicator base identifies selective parameters. That is these are the things I needed. Okay. So if this should not affect the flora and fauna, this should not affect the lifestyle of the peoples there. Third point, it should not affect the hydrology there. So if I go into specific parameters, then what is the impact of that project on the parameters that I have come to take? Okay. All the things, all the small things like that I cannot take. There is no road. If I am going for a small road, what will happen? It will affect like that I cannot take. It may be a small road. If I am going for a highway, national highway, I have to consider that impact on the things, right? The discriminative. What is this means? Recurrence suggests methods identifying project impacts as distinguished from future. Environmental changes produced by other causes. Okay. So not only this, due to this project alone, what is the impact? If I am going to start this project, be due to this, what are the other changes will be happening? Because of that changes, what will be the other effect that will be there? That also I have to do. This discrimination should be there. That is, due to the direct impact of this project, what will be the impact? Because of this project, what will be the second row of things will happen? And due to that, what are the impacts? That methodology should give all these things. Time dimensions. Okay. At least it should know specifically this much of time dimensions are needed. And also spatial dimension. That is the space, right? It is this much of effect. It is a local, or it is on the spot only, or it is a state, or it is a national level. Which part it will be affected? That also that methodology has to give. Right? These are the things that should be there in the methodology. Measurement. Commensurate set of units so that comparison can be made between alternatives. One alternative if I am going to give in a different path. Other alternative I am going to take a different route, studies I am doing. Both the things cannot be compared. What is needed for the project I have to take, and I have to go in for a study with different one or two methodologies or one or two types which I can come and comparison. Okay, this is better, this is better, this is good, this is giving a very good less impact on the environment. Like that I can make a decision. Measures changes. Measurement of impact magnitude are distinct from impact significance. Okay, so the measurement of impact magnitude and distinct from significance. So what is the impact? Significance means due to this impact how much this is affected. That is the significance of the impact. Magnitude means how much it is affected. Okay, right? How much this is affected and how significantly, how importantly it is affected, that I have to predict and I have to give. Both the things I have to give. Because both the things are not same. Some things will be of very small magnitude but will give a very good, very big impact. But some things it will be a very big impact but this will give a very negligible impact on the environment. Objective. It is based explicitly stated objective criteria. So all this methodology should at last go to a goal, right? So if that is a EAA methodology I am selecting, this is the goal what I am going to research. What is the impact of that project on the environment? It can go how much times it can go, any number of alternative ways can be there. But what is that? Alternately it has to go. What is the impact of that project or the development of the project on the society? That it has to give the methodology. Assessment. So credibility. So the method what I am going to select and what I am going to adapt should be trustful. right? It should be trustful by the peoples and it should be trustful by all the authorities, right? Just like that, it cannot be, no one can understand, no one can trust, it is not suitable like that, no one can tell. It should be trust, confidence level should be high. And the next one, it is a replicability. Okay, so it can actually, what are the EIA practitioners, experts that they are using, how much they are using, the same type it should be there. Okay, there should not be any new methodologies that are formed which no one can understand, which cannot be complicated. Almost all the EIA practitioners are following that points as can be taken. And significance based, mostly it is on significance based, and the impact is also quantity based, but mostly it is on significance based has to be there. Aggregations, amount of information of raw data. We can have thousands of raw data, but how much raw data that we are going to take it for the that is just to study the impact of on the environment. Okay, it is not that we need to take all thousands data. Maybe in the 1000 data, some 200 data may be of very good significance. That data we can take. Even sometimes it will have only 10 data. The 10 data may be very significant. We have to find out all the data and we have to aggregate it. That is simply separate it and we have to use it. Uncertainty, it accommodates a degree of uncertainty. Uncertainty means without even knowing this may happen. So that also has to be considered. What are the uncertain things that may happen because of this project on the environment, impact of the project on the environment. Okay, so actually impacts that have low probability of occurrence but high potential of damage and loss. That is, the occurrence may be very less, but there may be the losses may be very high. As I told you yesterday regarding the dam, right? So it's similar to that. Last class we saw na alternative comparison. So all the methodologies should have to be compared alternately with the projects. Any other things can have to be included or how far this methodology is good. Okay. So the next one, it is a communication. So I told you whatever that we are finding out, whatever that we are putting in the paper, everything has to be communicated to the common people. Okay. A common people who is having a very less knowledge, low knowledge, should be able to understand what is there in the EIA, what is the environment, that is the project or the development of the project has a impact on the environment, in my environment. A common people should be able to understand. Okay, so what happens now, it should be sufficiently detailed and completely compassed, and also suggest a mechanism for public involvement. If I am not going for involving the public in the EIA, then there won't be any way of communication of the project to the peoples. Okay, in that place. Linking and assessing impactment with the geographical and social groups, NGOs, and also what are the peoples that they are studying about that, that is the formation of rocks and everything now. So we should provide a mechanism by which these people should also be able to know about this report. Okay, methodology what we are adapted. So okay, the users adequately understand the whole picture. Okay. So here and here it is now the methodology should be able to communicate the entire picture of the project to the wise man, to the social workers, the persons who are directly or indirectly affected or involved, not affected, involved, and also the common person. All these peoples that should be there, the communication should be such that. Okay. So what are the factors that affect the selection of the EIA methodology? Okay. So what are the factors? Ability to respond and need, severity of the adverse environmental impacts, and degree of uncertainty. I have given it in a very combined form. Okay, irreversibility commitment, degree of beneficial impacts, ability to meet statutory requirement, permitting agency concurrence, political support, public opinion, funding agencies, cost and design and other restrictions. All this thing has to be taken. And the preferred alternatives, at least the methodology, these are the different items that has to be considered when we are considering the different alternatives. So what is it is that the impact assessment ranges from simple to complex and are also progressively changing from a static or to a very good approach. Okay. So what is this things that again think the flexibility, comprehensive, communicative, aggregation, replicability, multifunction, uncertainty, space dimension, time dimension, data requirement, summary format, all the things I have put in a format, and I have given how much this each method, okay, how much this each method has a completely fulfilled report or partially fulfilled report or a negligibly fulfilled report. If it is having a completely fulfilled report, means it is given by L largely fulfilled report, where they have a only low resource data is necessary. If it is a medium, then we call it as a small, right? So where the partial data is necessary. When we go in for a negligible or no, then we need a very large resource data. So this I will again explain it clearly after going in for, completing all the methods. Okay, so what is the focus of methodology? It is a list of potential impact on selected environmental components, and it should be dynamic. Integrated group of natural and social systems should be involved, and the type of impact over time and space. Again and again I am telling it is the time and also the space. Immediate while others are delayed. Direct results of an activity, others occur as secondary or higher order impact. Okay. This is a focus, right, on which the methodology has to be selected. Okay, it has to involve all the dynamic integrated groups, and it has to be time limited. Budget should be minimum, right? So these are the different EAA methods that is adopted. First one, it is ad hoc method, checklist, matrix method, network method, overlay method, environmental index using factor analysis, cost benefit, and predictive or stimulation method. So it is having both the theoretical method as well as it is the analytical method. Now first thing we will go for an ad hoc method and the checklist method in this class. What is ad hoc? Ad hoc is an emergency. Situation of emergency, we call it as ad hoc, right? Ad hoc government. Okay, where the government loses its majority and we will have the presidential rule, other things, we will have ad hoc government, or we call it the intermediate. There will be a government that is followed now between the first government and the second government. We call it as ad hoc government. It is an emergency government. It is not a natural, it is just as a fast one. Random government, it is called as a random selection. Everything we can say it as a ad hoc. So first we will see what is ad hoc. Ad hoc methods are rough assessment of total impact, right? It is a rough assessment of total impact, giving broad areas of possible impacts and general nature of this possible impact. It don't give a very specific thing, these are the impacts due to these other things. It will give only a broad area of what are the impacts that is gone, possible impacts, and the general nature of these possible impacts. Okay, we will see next example. And the impact on animal and plant life may be stated as significant but beneficial. This project will affect the flora and fauna of that region, it will be given there. But how much it is affected, what is the main species that is affected, it has to be further undergo this study. So by this method, what is that affected we can do, whether it is a hydro affected or a person is affected or a hydro or flora only affected, like that we can have a broad area which is all affected. Okay, ad hoc methods involve assembling a team of specialists, okay, to identify the impact in their area of the expertise. Okay, so some expertise will be there, they will be formed as a team, and they will be giving some criteria by which this method, what and all it can be taken. These are the things that has to be considered, like that. They will give a very random way of giving the impact things, right? Which is the things that is impacted, that we call it as an ad hoc method. Okay, basically ad hoc method, the broad areas of possible impact by listing composite environmental parameters, for example flora and fauna in a general way, that is animals and plants, likely to be affected by any development. Any development that I am going to do, it is going to affect the flora and fauna of that area. But that also will be given there in a broad sense. In this method, the environmental areas such as air, water can be taken separately, right? And the nature of impact such as short term, long term, irreversible or irreversible also considered. So in the ad hoc methods, the assessor relies on intuitive approach and makes a broad-based qualitative assessment. Okay, so it is a not a very clear, but it is a specific approach, and it will give a qualitative assessment. These are the things that will be affected, not a quantitative. How much it is affected will not they will give. They will give what are the things that is affected. So what are the things that they will consider? Number one, it is a wildlife. Wildlife. What is the animal? All animals that is living in the forest are wildlife. It will tell the wildlife is affected. Not only the animals, all the plants, wildlife, what and all is there in the wild, that is in the forest areas, that will be affected like that. They will give in a general form. The second one, the natural drainage system will be affected. Drainage, natural and artificial drainage is there. Natural drainage is nothing but the by which the water flows into the ground to going for a groundwater level rises or decreases. Due to this project, the groundwater level will be affected. Due to this project, the natural drainage system will be diverted. The streams will be affected. Like that, it will give a general. Third one, recreation. So, what is the recreation facilities that will be affected? Recreations are very important nowadays. So, it will then an endangered species. So, when it tells about the wildlife, it also tells these are the endangered species like this lion will be affected. Tiger is considered as an endangered species, elephant like. So we will be taking that these are the things that will be affected. Natural vegetation, exotic vegetation. Exotic means very grown in a bush like that things, it will be affected in the natural vegetation. And grazing. Grazing we call it as the, what is grazing? Grass, like that which is grown like a small grazing manner. This like this, if you are doing this and all, it is a grazing, right? So it will bush like this, it will form the grass and all, it is called as a grazing, right? And social characteristics. Social characteristics, there are so many things in the culture, everything will come, but they will be telling the social characteristics will be affected. Okay, the groundwater will be affected. There will be more noise because of this project. And air quality will be much, okay, air quality will be there, okay, 9, 10. So 11, the air quality. Generally they will tell what are the qualities. It is mainly sulfur dioxide is there, or carbon monoxide is affecting there, or what is the main, how much index air quality is affected that day. It will affect the air quality. Like that it will give visual description. So mainly these are the things that can be affected. The views may be different. This mountain will go lost like that. It will give some general terms. And open space, how much open space will get affected. And what are the health and safety measures of the peoples living there, how much it will be affected, and what are the economic values will be affected, and also it will tell what are the public facilities. These are the 16 points it will given by the ad hoc method, but it is a very random and it is a qualitative method. Wildlife, natural drainage, recreation, endangered species, natural vegetation, exotic vegetation, grazing, social characteristics, groundwater, noise, air quality, visual description, services, open space, health, safety, economic value, public facilities. Like that it will give a random thing. So in the ad hoc methods, it is very simple and can be performed without any training by any experts. Right? So it will give a very pertinent information, that is very trustful information of a project without any sort of relatively weighing the cause-effect relationship. It provides a very minimum guidance. We cannot reach the goal with this method. We have to go and adopt the other methods also. Right? So what are the following drawbacks in the ad hoc method is that it gives no assurance. So the confidence level cannot be achieved. Encompasses comprehensive set of all relevant impacts. It lacks consistency in analysis as it may select different criteria to evaluate different groups of factors. So different criteria will be taken That is not a single criteria. Randomly, grazingly we will be taking here and there, then they will be given. It is inherently inefficient method. And it requires considerable effort to identify and assemble an appropriate panel for each assessment. And the expert judgment in assessing the primary impacts is done, and ad hoc it cannot be replicated, making it to the review or analysis of the conclusions of the EA. It can be used as only for a reference purpose. This method cannot be adopted in all the things. In one or two project it can be taken, but as a whole it will not be taken as a thing. So because of the above drawbacks, it is not recommended as a method of impact analysis. It is not recommended. Okay, you come to see, it is not recommended as a method of impact analysis. It is used only as a base for the other methods. Okay. So the next one, it is a checklist methodologies. Here we will go in for a checklist. Okay, what are the list we will have, and we will get a questionnaire out of it, and we will go to give the peoples and we will get the checklist. Listing of environmental factors is highly structural approaches involving importance of weightings of factors. Which will be affected most, that I will give a checklist, and then I will go in for the approaches, so that I can get a very deep into that checklist alone. Okay. So the scaling techniques for the impacts of that lift, and what are the alternative factors of that impact alone, that I will go. Okay. So actually what is there now? It gives a very good impact identification. So instead of going for flora and fauna, I can tell the tiger species is going to get reduced. Okay. And are capable of bringing them to an attention awareness of the audiences. Impact identification is the most fundamental function of EIA, and this is mainly made because of this checklist. Maybe simple. What is a checklist method? Is a very simple method. Descriptive method, scaling and weighing checklist to do it equally well. Okay. So the checklist are of 4 broad characteristics. It is a simple checklist where the list of parameters without guidelines provide how to interpret a measure or an environmental parameter. The next one, it is a descriptive checklist that includes identification of environmental parameter and guidelines to how parameter data are to be measured. Third one, scaling checklists that are similar to descriptive checklist with the addition of information basis to scaling and parameter values. The scaling, weighting, the checklists are capable of quantifying the impact. So we will be taking the simple checklist, we will take it, and we will be taking it as a small amount of numbers mattum. Then we will be going in for this detailed study of that method. Represents list of environmental factors which should be addressed. However, no information is provided on specific data needs cannot be provided. This is one of the disadvantages. And impact prediction and assessment. Descriptive checklist refers to the methodologies that include list of environmental factors along with information on measurement and impact prediction and assessment. Scaling and weighing inherent in the later types of checklist facilitates decision making. It also incorporates the function of impact measurements to a certain degree of interpretation and validation. So what is the main thing? It is that it can be more amendable to the decision making. In ad hoc method, it gives an overall thing, but in the comprehensive, we will come down to a scaled value and we can give a very good, these are the things that has to be taken control, and we can go in for a detailed study of this. So it is a very good, give a very good platform for the decision making, and also very good for the judgment. Okay. So these are what I have already shown you, that is the scaled checklist, decision scale. So actually what is the main thing? It is that it can be one of the methods that can be adopted. So in the EIA methods of ad hoc methods, checklist method, matrices method, network, overall analysis, environmental index, cost benefit and predictive. With this class we saw what are ad hoc methods and checklist method. In ad hoc methods, overall they will say these are the things that are affected. But in the checklist method, even in the things we can take this the things that is affected. And even in this, if I am going to take an animal, particularly this animal, tiger or elephant, that is going to be getting affected. And also that I will take it into control. That study I will make it how much quantity, how much quality it is going to get affected. Okay, in the next class I will see about the matrices method. Okay, thank you.